Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. I am your host, Jimmy Good, and joining me this week are my go-to podcast compadres, Mr. Joe Lever.
Hey, Jimmy.
And Mr. Levi Fletcher.
What's up, guys?
There you go. Hi, boys. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish there was a simpler way to do that, but I appreciate that you're both here. And it's so cool to have you guys both back at the same time. I feel like we got like the group, the band together.
Happy 4th.
Yes, happy 4th of July. You know, we're recording on the 4th of July, and a big thank you guys for, to be filming on this very sacred holiday here for the U.S., which, by the way, to any of our British Legionnaires, love you guys. Seriously, you're our best allies. I mean, we had that thing, 200 plus years ago, but I think we're all pretty good right now. It's pretty good. That's why we got Captain America over there, right there, and we'll get Captain Britain. I think that's his name. He'll show up eventually. Anywho,
and if you stay tuned to the end of the show, there may be some fireworks. There's a treat.
Oh my god! Oh yes, of course, right out there.
If you whip out a frickin' sparkler, I'm just done.
That would be incredible, Joe.
I've had bottle rockets in my closet upstairs for 3 years.
Oh
Joe's the director behind our special effects division. So.
That would be so great. You definitely get a bonus. I just Haley coming in with some sparklers in the background. Like, yep, there you go, everybody. For anyone who's joining us for the very first time, welcome. We talk about movies, games, and TV shows. And in the beginning of our podcast, we usually like to start off with a little bit of news. And this week before we started, I was thinking, man, there wasn't a lot of news. We're kind of in between two big movies. E3 just happened. Not too much to talk about. However, there's something. There's something we do need to talk about just a little bit because we always seem to talk about these characters on here. Overwatch, the game that just doesn't want to die. It's coming out with a brand new character named Wrecking Ball, a.k.a. Hammond. If you haven't seen this character, he's a little hamster that sits in a robotic ball of death. And he's going to be a tank with 900 health. I think, Joe, you had told me in the beginning there. And I kind of want to just talk about him for just a little bit because in the past we just loved Overwatch. It was our game of the year for 2016, and we just can't not talk about it just a little bit, just because we go back from time to time and we have fun. We'll play it like once every month, maybe or so, maybe every other month, and I do enjoy it. But anyway, let's start from the beginning. His quad cannons, cannons they shoot, nothing crazy there.
Diva-esque.
Yeah, he's a Diva-esque character. This is where it starts to get weird though, right off the bat. Grappling Claw. Now, I've heard people talk about this thing where you can because he rolls in this, I think in this ball or whatever.
Steel hamster ball.
Yeah, and he can shoot this thing off and he can latch onto buildings, and then he kind of whip around, and that's pretty interesting. Now, what I've heard, and I was explaining this to the boys beforehand, is that that this thing will clip through corners. So let's say if there's a corner, right here, the line will clip through it. It won't bend around that corner and then snap it forward. But I've heard it's actually pretty fun, and it's kind of not Spider-Man, but kind of Spider-Man-esque a little bit. I don't know if you can grapple and then grapple and then grapple. I'm not sure if it's that crazy. It might just be the one. And then there is just the roll, which apparently, I guess you transform into a ball to increase maximum movement speed. So maybe it's you're kind of a walker and then you turn into the ball.
Very odd.
That's handy for getting back into the fight.
Yeah, no, both. I agree with both of you, Levi. It's a very odd character, and it just gets weirder as we go down. Pile Driver, another ability where he slams in the ground and he damages people, sending them up into the air. I don't know what kind of area of effect that is. I would kind of wanted it to be pretty big, but because McCree, send him up and shoot them all. That'd be amazing. But I don't think it's gonna be that. I don't think it's gonna be. It's not that crazy, right? Because it's only just a regular ability. A pretty boring thing, Adaptive Shield. He makes a temporary shield for himself, but it's actually based upon how many people or enemies are around him. So he probably gets a base one, and then depending on how many more are next to him, up to 6, people around him, which just kind of incentivizes him to be in the thick of it. And finally, Minefield. He puts out they say it deploys a massive field of proximity mines. So, yeah, Levi Hammond. Is this something you said he's weird? Is he weird cool, weird bad, or
I'm
just
watching this video right now, and I like the little. I don't know if I like it or if I'm terrified of the little hamster.
I was just gonna say, think about the aesthetic of him.
He's pressing buttons. I mean, it's cute, but is this the first animal we've gotten since Winston? And is this a direction we're going now? Is that there's more sentient animals?
So Yeah, there have been teases in the past that it wasn't just Winston who was like
Okay.
the only kind of sentient animal, but it's been like, laboratory research. And people have talked about that in the past. Apparently, somebody figured this out a long time ago that it was going to be this hamster. But I don't know if
I'm
it's going
really
to turn
digging
all
this
on.
grappling hook. Like, it's actually really cool looking.
Yeah.
And the speed, the ease of access for the map is just really cool how he can get around.
I think that's one cool thing about
Yeah.
Overwatch is that, like, while I would say its shooting controls aren't like the best, it's still pretty good, but the movement of all the characters is just so different. And adding
Yeah.
somebody like this is going to make maps look very different. I think, like, for Pharah players, it might give you a little bit more of that feel. I don't know. Is it showing, like, can you use Spider-Man? Can you, like, grapple and then grapple again? And then
Yeah,
grapple
he's
again?
grappling everywhere. And I mean, like, when he grapples down, it's like increasing like the damage too, I think, or like the speed because it like gets a little like red flame behind it. But this is
Yeah,
crazy.
just like D.Va, when you like rocket
Yeah.
forward and you hit people, it damages them. And I think this
I was
has
gonna
the
say,
same
he's-
effect.
Got a very diva like look to him too. So
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. There's going to be those comparisons that even we're drawing to the parallels here, but kind of that aggressive kind of pushing tank that isn't necessarily going to like save the team, but they're going to go in and just disrupt, which is D.Va, and Winston is another one that is just very much like, I'm going to jump in here, do and then run away and then come back.
They can be evasive too at the same time. Which
Yeah,
is,
yeah, no staying power like a Roadhog or a Reinhardt who's just going to shield up or heal up or whatever. But yeah, that's I mean, he does have the shield, but it's like, if he's getting flanked on all sides. Like, when he dies though, does he come out of the ball? Like, is he like D.Va? Is there a little hamster that runs around? Do you get to shoot the hamster?
I haven't seen him die yet because he's doing like with the robots.
training.
Yeah, training.
I just was thinking about that. I don't think they would have that. It would just be kind of horrible if they gave you like 10 health and they're like, run, and you're just like,
Yeah, well, because D.Va's only got like 600 health, right? So it makes sense that she would come out, and then you got to kill her too. If you really think about it, what a cool feature to her. It's kind of like a two-part feature, which is neat. With this guy Hammond, he's got 900 health. I mean, to just get him out of the suit, you waste all your time just focusing to him.
Oh, for sure, totally. Yeah, and one of my favorite things in the game is as like either a Roadhog or a Reaper is to get a D.Va and get her out of the mech and then just have her, or just wait there and then just have her pop out. Or like with Symmetra's old beam, because they changed Symmetra's beam. It doesn't just lock on anymore and then like bend. It has like a range now, which I was like, no. But I love getting her out of that suit and just being like, take her down. But taking out of context, that's bad.
It always did feel good.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, thank goodness, because she's such an annoying character, and I'm guessing that if people are really intelligent with him, he's going to be a terror, and hopefully will kind of shift some of like the game a little bit, because that's what you want to do when you have one of these characters come out. You want it to kind of shift and shake off the rust, like the metas. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have just like for a while, especially when they had doubles. It used to be like double Zenyatta, and then they're like, all right, well, you can't double up anymore. And it was like, that's a big difference in the game.
But they did give you a game mode where you can now.
Oh, exactly. And that's the thing, is that they've been really good about doing that, and also just having these other wackadoo modes like Mayhem, where it's like, we'll double the health and half the cooldowns, just go crazy. And you're like, think about this guy, like I was saying in the beginning, 1,800 health to start off with in that mode, and just like, what a tear. I'd be like, why even shoot him? Why? Like, he's just going to be like, like swinging around. Yeah, I think it's a cool character, and I'm hoping that when, because Overwatch, I think, is just going to keep going. I don't know if we're going to get like an Overwatch 2, right? Like, they just keep
I'm not surprised. I mean, Blizzard's really good about releasing content after content. I mean, look at Diablo 3. We're still getting content for that game.
I know. I've been thinking about doing like a wishlist video on like Diablo like 4, but I don't. They've just released so much. It's been out for 6 years, and it's like, can we just make it?
But they're dedicated though to like polishing every aspect of their games. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And Overwatch has a lot of complexity to it too. I mean, think of just something as finite as the grapple or the hook for Roadhog. That was probably the basis for this grapple. Roadhog, you shoot that hook out, and if you're close and you hook a character, I mean, think of the computation power it's got to take to register that you did hit a target, you can hook them in, and all that animation that has to happen. I mean, it's just cool, the complexities of it, and then the details like movement from the environments. I mean, it's unreal. And then they probably took that Roadhog hook and kind of used that as their basis of design for the grapple.
Oh,
Only
yeah.
now it hooks inanimate objects and gets you around the map. But it's just cool that you can interact with those things in that way. I think that's really, it's got some complexities to it for a first-person shooter, and this game, I really do think it's got longevity. I mean, like you said, we go back from month to month and still have fun with it, and it's got legs, man. I think it's still running the marathon. It's got some length to go yet. So
it also helps too that it's just they've kind of propped it up in the pro circuit, that they made it like an esport from the get-go, and I think now is when it's starting to kick off like even more. And a lot of people are really into watching it as an esport, and I've watched it. Sometimes I think that was incredible. I'd never be able to do that. And then other times I think, yeah, I don't feel so bad right now. Like I see a pro do something stupid and I'm like, okay, all right. Like, I mean, we all make mistakes. Like, it's okay, buddy. Yeah, that especially that grapple. Maybe they use like that and Widowmaker's grapple, Joe, to like make this new one.
Yeah,
because like Widowmaker,
they are at a basis, but a grapple in a game is, if you really think about it, complex.
Oh, I love that's why best games have grapples, baby. Oh, every game's getting a grapple nowadays. Too.
Yeah, you should be more excited than any of us about this character.
I think it's just like it's weird because I already kind of have like Winston, who's kind of like my sentient animal wrecking stuff up. But I think he's kind of interesting. I don't mind it.
Like you said, we know there are more sentients. Like I think there was a hint to a monkey at one point, like another.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Primate of some sort.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, I think the problem too is like with some of these creatures, like they'd be such hard targets, like too small. So that's why you put that like the little hamster in a big like robot ball.
Yeah, sure.
Because if you didn't, you'd be like, shooting at a snake on the ground. You're like, shoot it. It just the evolved monster they never made. Yeah.
There's so many options to Overwatch. It keeps it fresh for me. I mean, you can always pick a different character, different abilities. It's just a good time. I don't think it'll ever leave my list of games to play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that you and Drew and I, Joe, have played, but Levi, would you consider hopping back in to play Hammond one of these nights just for fun?
Yeah. I think it would be super fun to get back into it and just like see what's changed. That's what I like about taking break from games like this and coming back and checking it out.
And you think, oh man, it's been so long, I'm gonna suck. The people that are still playing are like the best of the best. Not true. I mean, we still see people that are fairly new to it or have started over somehow. Like there's low level people, but I mean, we got back into it and we still had it. We actually had a high win percentage at one night.
Yeah, and the fact that I think that unlike a Titanfall, a Battlefield, or a Call of Duty, not all these characters are exactly the same, and people like to change it up, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're amazing with all characters on all maps. So that helps a ton when like even a veteran player picks up a character they rarely play. They're not necessarily going to be really good with them. So we probably had some of that, and like you said, there's always new people coming in, and they still don't know how to counter certain things. Like, oh man, like there's this the Hanamura map. There's this the last point. I put up a turret there with Torbjorn. Joe's playing Orisa, and he put up a little shield in front of it, and that thing just like wreck shop the whole time.
They never even touched it.
They couldn't even stop it.
Reaper shows up, puts an alt on it, and I'm just like, dead.
Just like walking him, like shooting him. Yeah, it's fun times. It's good when it's working. When Overwatch is working and you're working together, that is
yeah.
That's
well, that's another thing too. If you haven't played it for a while, you come back to it. I feel like there's that reinvigoration where, if you're playing with some buddies, you kind of like strive to work together a little better because it's a little fresher and But back to Hammond, I did read or watch a little review on YouTube and a pretty good player reviewing him who does mostly all Overwatch stuff. He was saying Hammond is a very technical tank, probably the most technical tank on the roster. So he's somebody that you almost have to practice with a little bit before you go into a match.
Sure.
If you want to win. So he said it takes a lot of like you said, if you're smart with a character, well, this character you really got to think about what you're doing, not just willy-nilly grapple all over the place.
Yeah. And as of this recording, I think he's on the PTR, but I'm not sure when he's actually going to be live. He might be already. Like I said, we don't go back very often, but we do want to talk about him just for a little bit here, which just Overwatch talk just gets that way. But
was that a half an hour worth?
Yeah, just about a half hour worth. But to freshen things up just a little bit before we get into the meat of the show, I want to play a little game with you gentlemen. We got a couple of games here tonight. This one I
love it. Do I need to get my revolver ready, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, we gotta do. Yeah, quick draw. That's how we do it here. That's how we do it on the Critical Podcast. So tonight, I have 5. Count them. Joe, I see you got my care package. If you go outside, you'll be able to pick it up.
Holy crap.
So apparently the F-22 bombing run that got called in on Joe's house just arrived. I mean, I called it like a while
That
ago.
sounds like a really close plane. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it did. I hope everyone's okay. See, that's you never know what's gonna happen on the show. I'm not gonna edit this out because this is great. This is live, baby. Well, live at the time.
I would laugh so hard, like just to like see that in the back window there, Joe. Like, oh,
Yes. Just smoke. He's like, yeah. Well, we lost Joe. I would explain the rest of this game, Levi, but I can't until he comes back. Oh wait, there he is. Hi, bud. Welcome back. What happened? Is everyone okay?
Dude, did you guys hear that?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. I thought that you guys were playing like a sound effect or something, like to start the game off. I'm like, cool. What are we playing?
I'm pretty sure a fighter jet just dive bombed my home.
Played Ace Combat 7.
Dude, that was unreal.
Yep. We finally got a Legionnaire in the Air Force, and he's like, "Where's Joe's house?" I'm like, "I think it's over here somewhere. Just gotta fly by it quick." He's like, "Okay."
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm awake.
So, Cinco. We've got 5 Pokedex entries here from Red and Blue. Yes, I know it's a long time ago, but you guys are relatively familiar. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off the entry. You will quick draw, make a little noise, so that way it cuts to you and I know. And then you guess at which Pokemon it is. If you get it wrong, other person gets a chance, but we're gonna do best of 5, okay? Sound good, boys? Get your holsters, get your guns ready? Okay. No looking it up either. All right.
Oh baby, I don't need to look it up.
Oh my goodness. While lulling let's start over. While lulling its enemies with its vacant look, this wily Pokemon will use its psychokinetic powers.
Bad.
Levi?
Drowsy.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
It's a good guess though. Joe, put your phone down.
I was trying to look it up.
Get that phone out of here.
Get that phone out of here, Joe. That's a yellow card, Joe. That's a yellow card.
Oh, does that mean I get to guess twice because he tried to cheat?
I didn't cheat. I was looking
say it again.
I was looking for a gun sound effect.
This is 150, right?
Yeah, this is just original 150.
Okay.
While lulling its enemies with its vacant look, this wily Pokemon will use its psychokinetic powers.
Oh.
Joe, do you want to take a guess?
Vacant look.
Fuck, I know what it is now.
Abra?
Abra? I'm so sorry. That is incorrect.
One. It's Slowpoke.
Incorrect. Actually,
What?
it's Psyduck.
Oh god, I was thinking of Psyduck, but I was like, it's gotta be
Tricky. I
Slowpoke.
was tricky.
He doesn't look willy-nilly.
He's got a
Wily.
vacant look. Well,
I
Slowpoke's got a more vacant look than.
That's true. He does.
Yeah.
I guess he has psychokinetic. Well, Slowpoke kind of does too. And
I
that's
don't like this game
Anyway.
anymore.
This is fun. Next one. An adept swimmer at both the front crawl and breaststroke easily overtakes the best human swimmers.
Oh, it's the bang.
Levi?
It's Golduck.
Incorrect.
Son of a bitch.
I'm so proud of myself because I just
These
put
are
this together.
some of the first Pokedex entries. My god.
I know there's some pretty janked up ones. Joe, would you like to take a guess?
What were the strokes again?
An adept swimmer at both the front crawl and breaststroke easily overtakes the best human swimmers.
Poliwhirl.
Oh my god, so close.
It was
Poliwrath.
Poliwrath? Wow.
Oh yeah, Wrath. I
Very
thought.
close.
Yeah, I was thinking Poliwhirl was Poliwrath.
Very
My
close.
bad.
I recently was just working like a golf tournament for work, and I went through my entire Pokemon Go and read all the Pokedex entries. And they're so different now.
They're really messed up.
Yeah.
So do I get that one? Because I was pretty much.
You got that one.
Well, if Pikachu were Raichu, Joe, I would give it to you, but that's not how this game works. Its brain can outperform a supercomputer. Its intelligence quotient is said to be 5,000.
Wait, bang. Porygon.
Ooh, incorrect, but very good guess.
Which one's Porygon?
That computer green.
The one that got banned, Joe.
The one they banned the episode because there's too many flashing lights.
Yeah, the kids had seizures all over. It was funny.
They can't make this game too hard. Joe, do you want to take a guess? Maybe I should give you guys second guesses on these because we got to get something.
Yeah, you got to give like 5 seconds and then like a re-round.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the brain Pokemon. This is like
What? Say that again?
Its brain can outperform a supercomputer. Its intelligence quotient is said to be 5,000. You know what I think we're going to do going on from this? I will start reading their subsequent ones as well, so that way it gives you a better shot.
yeah, okay.
This is from Yellow. A Pokemon that can memorize anything and never forgets what it learns. That's why this Pokemon is so smart.
Oh, Ditto.
Ooh, nice try. I'm sorry. That's incorrect.
What was the question?
What
was the entry?
A Pokemon that can memorize anything and never forgets what it learns. That's why this is Pokemon's so smart.
Bang.
Mimic.
Mr. Mime?
Nope.
Mimic is the move it uses. Right?
Closing
Wait,
both. This is from
Mimikyu?
Closing both its eyes heightens all its other senses. This enables it to use its abilities to their extremes. Man, this is such a
I just feel like a horrible Pokemon trainer.
All right, let me read the one from Ruby. If you guys don't get this one, then I failed you. This Pokemon's brain continually grows, making its head far too heavy to support with its neck. This Pokemon holds its head up using its psychokinetic power instead.
Oh, bang. It's Alakazam.
Very good. There we go. We'll give you a point on
I remember that one. Yeah.
It's very vague to start.
That's like the final form of Abra.
Yes.
Because I thought that was super weird that he would use his
Alakazam.
telekinetic power to hold it up. That's weird.
Because of its ability to slip through block walls, it is said to be from another dimension. Block walls. Joe.
I'm really hoping it's Haunter.
Yes! Haunter!
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
very good.
nice.
I'm so happy somebody got on the first crack.
We're 1 for 1 right now, okay?
Which I love. This is one of my favorite entries because apparently it like attacks people. My favorite is, I think, Ruby and Sapphire. Haunter is a dangerous Pokemon. If one beckons you while floating in darkness, you must never approach it. This Pokemon will try to lick you with its tongue and steal your life away.
That's why he's my favorite Pokemon.
Put him on the team, am I right? All right, so
we're all their lives, Haunter. Go.
We are tied 1 for 1 here. Let's do a tiebreaker. Last one. Its boulder-like body is extremely hard. It can easily withstand dynamite blasts without damage.
Bang.
Boom.
Oh, Levi? The Levi gets it. There we go. That was,
I was going to say Onyx anyway. Good job.
Close, yeah. I just like how it's like dynamite. Like, who's throwing dynamite blasts at like Golem? And they're like, it's fine.
Pokemon used to be a real dark series, okay?
Is Golem the turtle-like one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great. Good job, guys. Wonderful.
I guess I didn't think of him as like a turtle, but
yeah, he's kind of
1 or 2 more.
Yeah, like a rock turtle.
It's 2 to 1. 2 to 1.
It's too okay.
Wait, why don't I switch this around and quiz you two?
Let's do it.
We just throw. Okay, can you look some up while we?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll just keep it going throughout the show. That'll keep
it
it
150,
fresh.
right?
Let's just keep it fresh. A game throughout the show. Stay tuned.
150, or do you want me to add in some gold?
Yeah,
and
let's do
silver?
150. Let's do 150. I think that's fair. That way, it's like, Anyway,
I didn't even know there was a gold and silver, so let's keep it.
just like.
Levi has disconnected.
Anyway, so let's get to the main topic of the show. We had a question last week that kind of spurred, some insight, some want, some desire in me. I was talking about the games in the latter half of 2018 that we are excited about. Now, we touched on maybe one a piece that we wanted to get our hands on immediately. But this week, I wanted to get into it a little bit more. I want to talk about like 3 games we're each excited about. Maybe some games you could expect from some of us. I mean, I'm wearing a flippin' Spider-Man shirt, but some other ones that you might not expect. There's at least one in here that I think people will be like, who? Like they'll be kind of surprised about. So while Levi looks up Pokedex entries, I think we're going to start with Joe. Joe, what's your first game that you just can't wait to get your hands on, baby?
Can't wait to get my hands on. Should I go in a particular order?
You can do it whatever order you'd like.
I'm forgetting my third one. I know I've got 1 and 2. Boom, boom.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll start off with Red Dead Redemption 2.
what is this game? What the second Red Dead? What does that even mean? I don't. What is it about?
Exactly, man. I've never played Red Dead Redemption, but I've played a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5. I love Grand Theft Auto. I think it's a good time. Endless hours spent doing random, cool, fun things. And throwing it back to Old West, I think, is awesome.
Do you have any concern after playing mostly just Grand Theft Auto that there won't be as much crazy fun stuff for you to do?
No, because I think in this realm, there's a bit more technicality to it and maybe a little more thought that needs to be put into what you're doing.
Yeah.
Old school Wild West, I mean, your getaway isn't going to be as easy. You know, you got to get to your horse and get out of there. And it's not as easy as hop in the car and go as fast as you possibly can. Or, hey, I'm going to fly away in a helicopter. Good luck getting me.
Yeah. Fun times.
So, yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm interested to see how, you know, the horse game works here. You know, like, can you get like a thoroughbred that's just amazingly fast, or, you know, one that has its legs sawn off and wheels put on it with a little gas-powered engine in the back?
I don't think they'll do that.
Just kidding. But no, and then the weaponry. I hope they do a really good job accentuating the weaponry and making that a big deal in this one.
Yeah.
Because I think that's more important than anything here, being that vehicular warfare isn't as prominent in this era. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really hoping for, you know, really cool repeating rifles. Mm-hmm. You know, you can get like some old style Gatling gun on a wagon. You know, and your buddy's got to drive the wagon with the team of horses, and you're back there just spooling her up. That could be really cool. And then the outfits and the style, just the style of the Old West period. I mean, we've all watched an old Western, and you're just like, I don't care who you are, you got to appreciate them, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And I think they'll do things that are a little cooler where, you know, like big old standoffs where like you're in a town and you're defending the town from maybe some opposing banditos coming in or something, you know what I mean? So it kind of like what is it? The Magnificent Seven?
Seven.
Magnificent Seven. Yeah. Something like that, you know?
Cool.
That could be really cool. You know, you're in a town, you kind of set up booby traps and get a plan together, and you take on some guys coming in to steal your stuff and ransack the town that you have your base set up in, or something of that nature. Could be really cool. So I hope they get real creative with it. You know, they've supported the heck out of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
I think being with that reputation with that game, I hope they do the same in this one, because I think they'll maintain the players between both. You know, you can kind of switch back into modern day, back to this, back to modern day, and vice versa. And if they can keep supporting Red Dead, I think it'll be just as popular, if not more, than Grand Theft Auto 5. So I'm excited for it. I really think there's a lot of possibility there, but in different ways. That are a little adjacent to Grand Theft Auto 5. So, yeah, real excited about it. And my guy's going to have the coolest Wild West style of them all. You wait.
You say that now. Joe. Oh, God, we're going to be in a gang together, too. Levi, are you excited? You know, we've talked about Red Dead a few times in the past. I know you've kind of shown an interest in it.
Come on, Levi.
Yeah. I think it looks really cool. I didn't play the first one, so I'm interested to jump into this kind of game without any kind of expectations and try it out. Absolutely.
I love so much that neither of you have played the first one, because this one is technically, I think, a prequel to that, which is cool because like it's weird for me because I know it has to probably get up to a certain point of like where the first game was, but this is just like all fresh new stuff for all of us in a way. And you guys, like you said, Levi, you don't have any preconceived notions of how it plays. I remember this being, I think Red Dead Redemption right now, the first one, is my favorite Rockstar game. I remember playing that in college and just being obsessed with it. They have this Deadeye ability in the campaign that you could like slow time, and then you could like mark a bunch of stuff, and then you just shoot like amazingly fast.
Oh, like McCree.
Yeah, like kind of like McCree. And I could see that coming back, but I don't know how it's going to work. Like, I don't know how the multiplayer, the co-op is going to work, but I'm just really excited to get into this game with you guys. And maybe it'll be more of like which weapons we carry, which will define like our personal roles within the gang. But I really hope that there's a lot of just like fun stuff to go around and do, because I think, like Joe said, much more technical. I think in a weird way, I think it's going to be a lot more focused on making such an immersive experience that there's like a lot of fun stuff to do with your buddies. And I'm really excited to play like Five Finger Fillet or Liar's Dice with you guys. You know, like I'm like I think it's gonna be really fun. Like I'm robbing banks, man, robbing trains. Like
not only that.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, wasn't there like a version of it that came out with there's zombies? Is like Are they all zombies?
So there was a DLC called Undead Nightmare that you could play, and that was like another campaign that like zombies had overtaken. I'm sure they'll do another one of those, or they'll just try to add it in, and it'll be like a co-op thing. But yeah, they did. I remember
working at Walmart and seeing in the video game case, it was like Red Dead, but it was a zombie. And I'm like, what is this? What happened?
Yep, yeah, it's just a DLC thing. If you're confused, it's like half and half. You're like, what is it? Zombies? There's a lot of zombies.
Yeah.
Which you needed to use Deadeye in that because you have to like mark a bunch and shoot them all in the head. And there's like tons of them coming in, so he's kind of going and going and going.
Why zombies? Where did that come from?
I don't know if it was just like a fun idea they had. Kind of think like maybe Call of Duty did zombies. It's like, oh, let's just do like a mode where it's zombies. So they decided to make
zombies were so hot back then.
Yeah, they were, and I think it was something they could throw like in the middle of the campaign storyline. Just be like, all right, there's 2 bad nights where there were zombies. Yeah, Red Dead, cool. I love that. It's a good pick.
Imagine, with the more limitations on vehicular warfare and maybe less buildings in the environment, that sort of thing. I would think that they'd add in a lot more environmental interaction, like every building is accessible and you walk in and there's a business there, there's something going on there, everything you can kind of walk into because it's small little towns, right?
Yeah.
I would think that maybe there's going to be more environmental interaction, not to mention interaction with the AI maybe.
Yep.
And then imagine you're out in the woods, you're traveling to the next town with your posse and you come across a campfire with a bunch of guys there. Oh, steal their loot and their horses. Oh, man. And horses are a form of currency. I'm telling you, man, options are endless, and there's going to be fishing. There's got to be fishing.
Probably will have fishing.
We've already lost Joe if it's fishing. We're going to be like, dude, we're getting attacked over here. And he's like, well, I'm just trying to catch this bass.
Like, all right, guys, we all know how we're going to storm this fort, right? Joe's just over there fly fishing. He's like, I'll be there.
Like Levi said, I got to catch this bass. He's got away 5 times. He's got to be at least a 10-pounder.
Joe's just standing in the middle of the river with his 2 revolvers, and he's like staring at the water, like, "What are you doing, Joe?" And he's like, like, "I got him."
There's part of him. See, I got him. There's another part of him.
What is what's the multiplayer aspect of this game? How many players?
Yeah, we still have a lot of questions about this game because we still haven't seen like official, like a full gameplay demonstration of it. From what we've seen like the trailers and stuff, but they haven't gone through and they're like, hey, this is like the first town you start in. They haven't really talked about that.
That's crazy for a game coming out already this fall.
Well, that's how Rockstar does it, man. They don't care. Like they don't need to go to E3. They can drop a trailer like in August or September and be like, here it is, buy our game, you losers. And people are like, yes, please.
People's wallets are falling out of their pockets, like, oh, have my money.
And Grand Theft Auto 5 is still one of the best-selling games every month. Like, it's like, who's buying this
I don't
game?
understand that. Yeah, they must be buying it themselves.
Yeah, like, people are like, I need a fifth copy.
Do transactions fall into that, like buying money for the game or anything?
No,
like that?
This is just like the physical copies, man. Like, people are still just buying the game. I'm like, how are you? Like, the NPDs are like, yep, they're still buying it. And I'm like,
yeah, that's unreal.
Yeah, it's nuts to me.
But yeah, I hope the multiplayer is a lot like Grand Theft because, I mean, it adds an essence of suspense to the game when you've got other online players in the same what's the word?
World environment.
Yeah, the same lobby as you.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're rolling around in that map, and there's a enemy player. You know.
Well, harder to grief too in this game because you can't have like a high speeding car, you can't have like a helicopter with a rocket launcher and just keep shooting the same person. So hopefully,
and I hope the gunplay, like if somebody spent a little more money on a gun, I hope it's not going to be like, well, I shot him like 20 times. He shot me once and it was over.
Yeah.
I hope it's not quite like that.
No, I don't think it will be. But I'm really hoping that even if the campaign isn't fully co-op, that there's plenty of stuff for us to do as a group.
Yeah.
Get deputized or just go take over a town. Who knows? If we're all part of a gang, we could lie to people. We're like, yeah, we're all good guys here as long as you pay us. We'll take over the saloon. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Red Dead Redemption 2, October 26th. Where I'm playing that the day I return. We're playing it and streaming it. It's gonna be a heck of a time. Oh, that's gonna
Where
be
are you going?
Nowhere, and you're not coming with me. Oh wait, yeah, you are. Speaking of that, Levi, what's one game that you're looking forward to coming out in the next like 5 or 6 months?
I'm so glad you reminded me, but Fallout 76 look sick. I loved the fourth one. You're giving me multiplayer, and I can play with my buddies, which I don't have any buddies, so I'll just be playing by myself. No, it looks really cool. I want to see that nuke action.
Yes.
See how that works out.
So describe to people who don't necessarily know like what the nukes are about in this game.
So I don't really know either. The nukes are going to be something everybody has access to and can blow up the map, and I'm sure there's going to be like cooldowns and things that keep it fair. But I'm sure people will be. I see it as being a big PvP thing. Different groups trying to vie for different resources to get this thing off the ground.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like a PvP meets a PvE because you have to go, I think, like fight a bunch, and then there's high level loot if you actually launch one of these nukes, and you can shoot it anywhere on the map. So
I mean, if they can pull this off, I think it's going to be a really big feat because Elder Scrolls, it's not really that fun in my opinion. I know a lot of people aren't like super into it. It's got its own little player base, but they can really pull this off. Yeah, like an actual Fallout with multiplayer, I'm down.
Okay. I look at it, and Joe, I don't know where you stand on the Fallout series because I know that I've had a mixed feeling towards it, but usually those games are single player with a bunch of NPCs, and they're like, you know what? No more single player, no more NPCs. There'll be robots in the world that you can talk to and get quests from and stuff, but the only people in this game will be other humans.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like Joe? Does that interest you at all?
What's an NPC again?
Oh, like a non-player character. So, like in Monster Hunter, Joe, when we go talk to like our handler, she's like an NPC.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now you're saying that it's going to be a bunch of online players in the realm with you?
Only online players. Think of like if you booted up Grand Theft Auto 5 online and that was the game. There was no campaign.
Yeah, what's Grand Theft Auto 5 to me, that's basically it. Even though the campaign is good, I actually went back and kind of got into that. But
yeah, it's good. Yeah, there's good stuff in there.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I've seen from Fallout, I know it's a real big deal, and they actually have a lot of like actual hard goods, like I don't want to say toys, but like memorabilia you can buy,
peripherals and stuff. Yeah,
like there's a whole kit thing that you can get. I just I don't quite understand what it's all about, but it never quite interested me. But
I just wonder if this one would, just from like what Levi's been talking about here, if it dropped, if you wouldn't maybe be there day one, but eventually it's a first person open world shooter with only other people in it, which I would think could maybe, check a few boxes off.
So for you. What's like the goal of the game though? Like what's your mission?
Well, it's like, it's like Elder Scrolls series and Fallout. It's, you still do quests and you meet people and you kill things pretty much. You shoot stuff.
You level up and stuff.
Yeah. RPG. If you ever get a chance to I don't know if you have the Games Pass, Joe, but Fallout 4 is available on Games Pass if you want to pick it up and give it a shot.
Yeah, so it'd be like that, but with multiplayer and stuff.
There's a cool targeting system too, where you can pick a limb off of a character too, and you can just blow it right off if you meet the certain criteria to blow off that limb, and makes it a little bit more turn-based too. But
yeah,
it's lots of different stuff going on with their gameplay.
It's called VATS, and it's weird because it kind of makes it so if you're bad at first-person shooters, this game tries to help you with that. It just I don't know how that'll translate into a game. They actually still have VATS, I guess, in this multiplayer. It won't stop time for you to aim at other players or aim at monsters, I don't think. But that just means that usually in the past the shooting hasn't always been the best. Levi, do you like the shooting in Fallout? Do you think it's good?
I do. I like it because it's just different. It's just very different from any other shooter out there. And when you're using the VATS, I remember having a lot of fun on Fallout 4 and just being like, oh, I got to kill this guy before he shoots this person. I'm going to VAT into him and quickly snipe off his arm. or
Yeah.
quickly snipe off whatever he's doing to get myself leverage in the fight.
And there's a very gratifying sense to like the
Mhm.
crunch of like a headshot or something.
Yeah.
It's like slow mo, and it's like boom, and they're both like.
And you can do it with your melee weapon too, where you can lock on and just really take your melee weapon and just hammer it in. Ooh, that makes me want to play Fallout again.
Wait, I forgot you can do that with the melee stuff too. It's interesting. I think it's a little more colorful too, which helps because I remember I played a lot of Fallout 3 and it was just so drab and dreary, and now this is starting to look better. It's going to be taking place in West Virginia, and there's going to be some interesting things that they can play with there. And I think I don't know if the White House is accessible or some plantation-y. I don't know if that was what it was.
Yeah, last time it was like Boston or something, and like this time it's going to be something different. So
yeah. But you're excited about it. So you'll play this game regardless with friends or without. Like, do you like anticipate trying to like get other friends that you know in real life to play with you, or do you want to just try to make some friends out in the wasteland and be like, yeah, we'll see what happens?
Yeah, I'll try. I bet Leo will pick it up.
Oh, sure, maybe.
He's usually receptive to like those kind of things. But I mean, I'll definitely stream it, try to get people to play with, and go from there.
You could do a review on it too if you want.
Oh, geez, my first review.
Oh my gosh, I would love it. So, dude, just a review in progress. Just you talking for 10 minutes just into the mic.
You know what? Fine, I'll put it in writing right now. I will make my review debut with Fallout 76.
First Joe with Alien Covenant. Now this. It's great. It's great. Yeah, Fallout 76. We'll see, but I think a lot of people are excited about it, even though there's a lot of people I think who are scared or are nervous just because it's so very different than what they've been used to in the past, and a lot of single player games have been going multiplayer. And it sounds like you can still play this game completely by yourself if you want to. Like, you don't have to play with people, but it's advantageous to play with buddies. So it's okay. Make some friends, go play. It'll be fine. All right, that means it's my turn. Which one to go with first? You know what? We'll just go with the obvious one. Spider-Man.
Hannah Montana, Island Adventure.
Hannah Montana, and I think she gets a bad rep. No, Spider-Man, I've talked about it a lot, and a lot of people have probably heard me just go on and on and on and on about Spider-Man. I just want to play it. I think it looks gorgeous. I loved, just for a little bit of background, there was a Spider-Man game on PlayStation 1 that I played for a while. I played a lot of Spider-Man 2 on PS2 and that or GameCube. And, people talk about the swinging in that game. And they're not wrong. You could just swing around New York City in that game. It felt just so perfect. Like, that was the best part about that game. The rest of it was fine, but it just felt so good, and it was cool to be. It was a movie tie-in, which was weird because like you think it wouldn't be good. Usually movie tie-ins aren't that great, but it followed the story of like Toby, Peter, going after Doc Ock. But they also had like Mysterio and other villains in there. They had a little Easter egg for Vulture. There's some green feathers on top of the Chrysler building, and I would go up there so many times just hoping, man, maybe the Vulture's going to show up. Maybe there's going to be like a little boss fight for me. Never happened, but I always went up there to check because I was always like, oh, look at this. And it's just like that's what this game is kind of. It's tugging at those heartstrings. Ultimate Spider-Man, I think it was the last Spider-Man big game, or maybe a Friend and Foe that I played on console, but I haven't really played anything since because nothing has really grabbed my attention or been to that level where I'm like, man, take that Spider-Man 2 and just like crank it up to current gen. And I feel like Insomniac has done it, right?
For this game.
Well, and I know it's single player, so it's like it's kind of hard for some people to get really excited about it because it's like, I wish I could swing around the city with you boys, like it's just like, Joe's Venom and Levi, you're like, I don't know, you could be whoever you want to be, like whatever Spider-Man character you want, Spider-Gwen, or you could be Green Goblin you'd be Spider-Man, I could be Green Goblin. If I could fly around as Green Goblin in this game, I'd lose my freaking mind. And yes, I would pay for DLC for him. If they're like, you want to fly around as Green Goblin, I'd be like, take my money, jerks. Like, yes. Anyway, but I'm really excited about it. I think it looks just fantastic. I hope it plays as well as people have been lauding it to be able to do. And I'm expecting a really fun story because that's what Insomniac does, is they make really fun stories. I love Ratchet and Clank. I wasn't a huge fan of Fuse, which was their attempt at like a third person, like Gears of War style game. For some odd reason, it had a lot more personality in the original trailer, and then when we finally played it, something changed. Yeah, it was odd. And then I tried Sunset Overdrive. I don't know if you guys ever tried it. It was that Xbox exclusive. I didn't like it. I know some people said you had to like take time to get better at it. Basically, if you guys don't know what that game is, it's a third person shooter where you're supposed to kind of like grind on rails and wires and stuff. And you're constantly supposed to be moving and shooting, and it's very colorful, but it was very strange, and it was also rated M, which is fine, but it was weird to have all these like cartoony characters just like constantly swearing. It was kind of Saints Row.
And like Soda was taking over the world, and it was just weird. It was just
like evil Soda making people zombies, and
I remember that being a launch game, and I was like, "What is this?" Like,
yeah, which I will say that definitely makes your console stand out to be like, hey, this like weird freaking game is coming out at the same time. But yeah, it wasn't for me. This is just like Insomniac getting back to it, I think, and I'm excited to dive in and to play this. Now, Levi, you said you're excited about it. Do you foresee yourself playing this game like all the way through?
Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope so. I'm getting a damn PS4 just for this game.
Oh, really? This is what's going to make you get another one.
This is, yeah, as soon as we get back from our trip, it's on my list.
It's on. Okay, well, so it'll be like in October or whatever.
Yeah. When is this release? August?
No, this is September 7th, I believe.
Oh, okay, cool. So
yeah, I'm really excited about it. But so like, why are you excited about it? I talked about why I'm excited. Why are you excited?
I played the original Spider-Man on PlayStation 1 on a demo disc, and it blew my freaking mind. Okay. I watched you play Spider-Man 3 at your house.
Oh yes, I did play Spider-Man 3. I love turning into the black suit.
Yeah.
Because you just like rip.
I've got a memory in your living room of watching you play it. Trying to get the different, were they like emblems or something?
Maybe, yeah.
You were trying to get some kind of collectible, I don't know. And yeah, I think it looks cool. I'm excited to see all the little Marvel tie-ins and stuff and see what happens with the series. And
was the game you played on PS1, was that the movie? That wasn't the movie tie-in. That was just like a
Spider-Man.
No,
it was like, oh man, it was like
from the 90s cartoon, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like you would web people, and like you would web around them, and they were like kind of blind sometimes. It was just weird. Yeah. It was a fun, weird game. But
yeah,
you put out fire with your webs, like it was just odd.
In those old Spidey games, like you couldn't go below like a cloud line, like with the buildings, otherwise you'd be like dead because like the game was like, we can't render the rest of the city. You're like, okay, I guess.
You're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Joe, how about you, man? Like, I know you don't have PlayStation 4. You probably don't pick like one up for this game, but are you interested at all in what Spider-Man has to offer coming up?
You know, the one thing that rings true with me that Levi mentioned, the first Spider-Man game on PS1. That was my first ever exposure to Spider-Man. I had that game. I played it nonstop. That was like the first time I ever got into video games, so I did really enjoy it. A
lot of nostalgia.
And then, you know, minutes after that, I kind of was out of video games for quite a while. But I do always remember that. I thought it was really well done, especially for that early on. The aesthetics, the controls were plush. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand why it's such a popular game, for sure. I'm sure it's only gotten extremely better. There's nothing like the freedom of swinging from building to building, right?
Yeah, so just like crawling on a building and like stopping and just kind of like perching in a little spot. You're like, I'm right here. I remember there's like specifically a Venom chase sequence where he's like making fun of you as you chase him like through this like the rooftops, and he's like, watch out for that last step's a doozy, and then like there'd be like this kind of sound effect because it was like the 90s cartoon version. I was like,
I do remember that. Yeah,
Venom was weird. He's a weird guy back in the day. Yeah. Anyway, Spider-Man PS4. There you go. I don't have to say any more about that. Joe, hit us with another one, baby. Hit me
with another one. What else do I got here?
Oh, which, by the way, before we get to another one, Levi, do you have a Pokedex entry for us?
I see a lot of them on Pokemon Go are like really simple. They're very simple, but I mean, I can try.
I'll say I can look one up too if you really want me to.
Okay, let's see here.
Oh, hold on. I got one. I just need to make sure it's good and vague. All right, well, this will be the quickest draw. All right, boys, get ready for it. Remember, it is 2-1 right now, with Levi right now.
This is a good one, actually. I've got a good one.
Oh, do you?
Okay, I've got one for you and Joe.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, this Pokemon, its motions are so bouncingly alluring. People see it and are compelled to shake their hips without giving any thought of what they're doing.
Oh no, I don't know.
Do you want a hint?
Is there another entry for it?
Yeah.
Here's a hint.
What? Bang.
What is it?
Jinx?
Yep.
Yes.
You're like, what is this? And then you're like, oh, it's Super Base.
I'm like, oh,
I get it because Jinx looks like Nicki Minaj.
What? We did not
Terrifying.
say that. Gotta edit that part out. We're gonna get we're gonna get banned.
that's how I knew it. We'll do well, I guess I can save this one then, if you want. But anyway, Joe, hit me with another.
All right. Grand Theft Auto. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, here we go.
Yeah, surprise! It's coming out in November. No,
It's just like every time we do Goaties, he's like, "Can we just nominate Grand Theft Auto 5?" And I'm like, "We can't keep doing Grand Theft Auto 5, man."
No, Battlefield 2. The World
Battlefield
War.
5?
Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, Battlefield V, or Call of Duty World
Oh.
War 2. Wait, did you do World War 2? Yeah, Black Ops 4 is coming out. It's Battlefield 5 and Black Ops 4.
Okay, yeah, because they just did Battlefield 1, though. But whatever. Yeah, anywho. So, yeah, the World War II version here coming out. The reason being is just because I always have fun on Battlefield. The World War One version was excellent. My fiance even has a blast playing that game.
Yeah.
Play it for
I love
hours. And the size of it, the matches are intense. The size of the environments is perfect. The destructible environments, the vehicular warfare, all of it is just perfect. And the realism of it and the graphic quality is off the charts as far as first-person shooters go. So regardless, even if it's not the best Battlefield ever, it's still worth $60.
Yeah. They're showing some of like the little minor, well, maybe not minor gameplay tweaks, but they're showing like how tanks can kind of crush really these buildings and houses, and I love watching that. They're showing that like you can kind of hitch some of these cannons and stuff up to trucks and jeeps and then move them around the battlefield, so weapon emplacement.
Finally.
Yeah, I was like, they showed that. I was like, click, and then they just like dragging this cannon around. I was like, oh, that's really cool, because people are gonna be like, all right, everybody go grab the cannons, bring them back here, like hold Alpha, just like sitting there, it's like
Yeah, dude.
yeah. I was like, that does seem pretty cool. And Battlefield, I think, lends itself to so much more just like straight up fun than Call of Duty, because like Call of Duty is so dependent usually on skill, whereas Battlefield's like, man, it was really fun to ride around in a Jeep together, like, and be dumb.
Yeah. Well, and if they're adding aspects like that where you can kind of plan out strategies and haul cannons to one point to hold it, that makes it more fun to play with friends. You know, you can kind of develop those strategies and work together on things. And Battlefield is such a large game. A lot of times it is a lot more fun to play as a group because you can kind of develop those strategies, get the points quicker. You know, you have your squads. So it's kind of perfect in that aspect. But yeah, just a great game. I just love the sexiness of it. It always looks so good. Like if it's a rainy day, the rain beads up on the gun and you can see it roll off.
Yeah.
What? Unreal.
I admire the look of that game too. Levi, for you, like Battlefield, where do you stand on it?
Yikes. I just remember, okay, I have a memory. I was going to GameStop. It was at like 10 in the morning, and I was walking up to the parking lot, and God, I don't remember what game I was getting. It was like a Pokemon game or something. And I was walking up, and this truck drives right in front of me, and this guy rolls down his window, and he's like, Battlefield 3, rolls it back up and just drives away. And I was like, I don't. Okay.
Did it come out that day or something?
I don't know, but he was literally. It's what he did. He drove up, didn't even go in the GameStop, window down, Battlefield 3, rolled it back up and drove away. And I'm like,
that dude was paid by EA to be there.
I appreciate guerrilla advertising. Okay.
Needless to say, Levi did not get the Pokemon game that day. Battlefield 3 for a week.
And no, I found some shelter. I really like Battlefield. How, especially I remember playing a little bit on Xbox One, and there's a map that the boat was like slowly getting closer and closer. Like the shipwrecked boat was getting closer to the map. It was moving. Like
Weird.
big, huge, massive objects were moving on this map.
Oh, like Levolutions, like when they blow up the buildings
like the
and stuff.
Levolutions. I always was super into that stuff. I suck at those kind of games. Like that's why I don't play Fortnite anymore. I'm just not very good at like big shooters like that. I think it looks cool. I think it's I'm interested to see the new advancements because it's very like pretty and they do a good job. DICE always makes everything look good. So
Yeah, that's one thing they'll for sure
Yeah.
do is make it look good. So
Mhm.
hopefully they won't do anything weird with like their microtransaction-y stuff again. Then it'll just be a fun, good game.
I mean, if it functions like Battlefield 1, the World War One version, which is the
Mhm.
most recent installment, I don't think there's much to worry about, and you can take that money to the bank.
Yeah, that and Call of Duty are adding Royale this year too. So if you're one to whet your appetite with that, you could try it out. Maybe you'd hate it. You know?
I don't know what this whole obsession is with that game mode and
I don't know.
Fortnite and all that stuff. I don't get it.
I was thinking about it, I almost want to make a video about it, but I think back to like when the MMO rose and like it was like Warcraft, and then after that it was like the MOBA, League of Legends, and now it's kind of gotten into this battle royale, and it's just like there always seems to be like some kind of game mode that spins off. Not that MMOs are a game mode, but or it's just kind of like this one thing with the zeitgeist. Everyone's like really into it for a bit.
Well, Battle Royale, isn't that just glorified free for all?
Yeah, pretty much.
Call of Duty had that from the beginning,
Yeah, it just was on. It wasn't as big of a map, and maybe I don't know. I can't explain the phenomenon, but yeah. So not a selling point for you, Joe. You're like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Battlefield 5. That's coming out in October, I believe, as well. I think.
October, November, somewhere in there. October, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good because you have that, and you'll also have Red Dead eventually. It'll be good. We'll be swimming in games.
Yeah. It'll be a game for Hales to play.
For sure.
Loves that game. So.
Levi, next up, buddy. What do you got for us? What's another game you just can't wait to hop into?
So I'm such a huge Pokemon fan still. And I've been playing so much Pokemon Go this summer for the last couple months. I'm really excited to see the tie-in with Pokemon Go for the Switch. Already being a fan of Pokemon Yellow, already being a fan of the original 151. I think it's just going to be a really cool rendition of this, and I'm excited to see the Pokemon walking around in grass and kind of a different battling system where you can actually see what you're fighting instead of just walking through grass, random encounters.
Sure. So, and obviously you're talking about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah. The only Pokemon game coming to Switch this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to see how they pull it off and how the Go mechanics kind of translate onto the Switch. I heard the Pokeball is not so fun to play with.
I've heard conflicting things. I've heard that, but I've also heard people say it's like really fun to use, like the little Pokeball.
It could be. I mean,
$50 though, like that's a lot.
Yeah, I do like that they have the battle system still with this game. I think that's cool. They needed to keep something like that traditional, or I feel like it would have just been really weird to translate a mobile Pokemon Go game to the Switch, unless you were using like your touchpad, which you're not. You're not using your touchpad for catching Pokemon, so it's gonna be weird.
Using just like the Joy-Con. I wonder
Joy-Con or the
too.
Pokeball, yeah.
Can you use a Pro controller on this? Probably.
Let's find out.
I want to know. And also the
I bet you can.
Pokemon Go's integration into this. I think it's going to be more primarily like you transfer your Pokemon from your cell phone into like the Poke Park or whatever or something. Like, is there like I don't know if you get to actually use these Pokemon that you have, like your level 2,356 Lapras. Like, is that translating into the game?
Oh no, I feel like a lot of those Pokemon are just gonna be hanging out in the Poke Park.
Yeah.
And you probably get to capture them. And I think it's what it is most to get you. It's supposed to get you more candy for Pokemon Go, and it's supposed to get you like other items too, for different stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think I agree with you though about kind of seeing Pokemon in the wild. It does kind of feel like a Band-Aid on a wound though, because like a lot of us were expecting it to be like red and blue, like maybe like a remastered version, but like or so I shouldn't say remastered because that's what this kind of is, but like a remake, like kind of looks like a full developed world, the kind of Breath of the Wild Pokemon. But it kind of this is the step in the right direction, right?
I don't think people will not be able to have fun with this game. I feel like it's going to be able to capture a lot of different type of gamers, something fun and relaxing just to do.
Yeah.
I think they made it more accessible, obviously, with the new catching system, and you can just play with your friend. You're both just throwing Pokeballs at the Clefairy and both trying to capture it. But
Joe, question for you: if I brought the Switch over, a Switch, to your house, and I sat down, I was like, Joe, let's play some Pokemon Let's Go, and I handed you a Joy-Con controller, would you play with me, or would you ask me to leave?
Say GTFO.
and then play GTFO.
Yeah, they play JTO. Yeah, but I mean, is there any obviously you personally aren't going to get like a Switch for Pokemon, but is there anything when you're looking at this game or thinking about this franchise, does it scratch any nostalgia?
You know what I want to do with Pokemon instead of I love the Game Boy games when I was a kid. Good stuff. Except for when you battle, I don't want to just select an attack and watch them go. Yeah, I want to all right, I'm Blastoise, I'm controlling him, and I'm running at this guy and kicking his ass.
Yes.
So Joe's more of a Pokemon trainer on Super Smash Bros. Player.
I completely agree with Joe. That I think about that. Like, look at the Pokemon show that we all grew up and loved, and that was more kind of my entry into it. Like, that's when I think of Pokemon. I think of that's what it could be. Those Pikachu's not just standing there taking shots. It's like the Hyper Beam Strong Jump. He's like Pika, just boom. It's not that he's diving around, man. That'd be so much fun to do. Oh my God, Blastoise, and they'd all have to move different ways. Blastoise would be kind of slow. He's not moving too fast, but a Scyther would be dodging around. Oh, damn.
I bet we can see. I mean, they're really taking some risks here with this series, and I think that we might see something like that someday.
I hope.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, they did it Pokemon Dungeon. I mean, they can do it again.
And that's my thought with this game, Levi, is that this is just to make people be okay until they show the next one, because I think the next one, the next core Pokemon game that we're talking about, that's supposed to be out in 2019. That might be a really heavy departure from what we've seen before. So that way they'll be hey, if you like the old games, there's Pokemon Let's Go. But if you want what maybe more what Joe and I are talking about, or something completely different, here's what Pokemon's gonna be. So that way when people are how dare they? And they'd be just go play Pikachu and Eevee. It's fine. It's this is the old times. It's okay, shh, like that. So I hope that's what they do, because I'm right there with Joe. I want to take control of my Pokemon in the battles. I want to be flipping Arcanine, man. Come on.
That's why I like Pokemon Trainer so much on Smash, though, because you can switch from Ivysaur to Charizard to Squirtle and run around the map.
But think that's only 3 of them, man. There's there's 147, 40.
A lot of potential.
40. It's just
I just want some blood and gore. I want that Arcanine to take a big bite out of a Diglett and just rip it to shreds.
It's like an R-rated Pokemon.
I don't think they'll ever do that, but I get where
Mortal
you're coming
Kombat
from.
version of Pokemon. Slow motion execution.
Scyther just sticks his shink and
just stab him right through. Would it
be
would it be a Mortal Kombat where it'd be side scroller, or would it just be the gore of it in a third person arena where you kind of dodge around?
It'd be cooler third person for sure.
I know that they kind of have that Pokken Fighting Tournament, which is third person, kind of fighting, Pokemon, but it's much more combo driven, which I don't think this game would be. I wonder if you'd still do the PowerPoint thing where Hydro Blast, for instance, with Blastoise would be insane damage, but you could only use it 5 times. And if you missed, you're well, you whiffed a shot. You have to be point blank, point at that Diglett, just
incinerated, just brown all over
with the water. Yeah, but I'm, Levi, that's probably going to be the game that I bundle together with a Switch, and if they have one coming this holiday season, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. All right. Before we, actually, we'll talk about my game briefly, and then we'll get into the last ones here, and then we'll do a little Pokedex entry. Keep moving on. Next one, I do want to briefly mention Dragon Quest XI. Now, Dragon Quest XI, I was showing this game to Joe, who, was not necessarily sold. It's kind of like the anti-Joe game in a lot of ways, because not only is it really cartoony in look, but the battle system is pretty slow paced. It's old school JRPG goodness, but it's just a pure game. You look at the trailers and it's just that stereotypical, we must battle the darkness with the light. It's just your main character. He's probably not going to say anything. But the fact that Dragon Quest is such a prolific franchise and has not really gotten a lot of good representation here in the West, it's huge over in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't really cracked the market here in the same way. But we've had other games like Nier, Yakuza, Persona, There was another one that just came out recently. But there more Monster Hunter. Oh, Monster Hunter like killed it. And these are all Japanese RPGs that are just crushing it in the West. This game came out last summer over in Japan, and apparently there's this urban legend going around saying that the people who released Dragon Quest that they were asked not to release this game on a weekday because a lot of kids would skip out of school to go play this game. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I just like to think that that's how popular that franchise is over there. And
Shame on those kids.
Well, no, dude, those kids know what's up. I love this franchise. I loved playing. I think it's Dragon Warrior Monster back on Game Boy Color. That was kind of it's like Pokemon a little bit. You have like a team of 3 and you're going around fighting other groups. And then, playing Dragon Quest VIII recently and just having a love for not only the art style, Akira Toriyama, like Dragon Ball Z fame, but just I love that that's like the purest RPG. It's just like if you wanted to show anybody what RPGs are like at their core, like what is at the fundamental, but just like center of what these role-playing games are like from where they originated, I feel like Dragon Quest is carrying that torch. It's not doing anything like insanely new for this series. It just looks incredible, and it just I'm fine with that. It doesn't need to be like, well, now like the protagonist is like really edgy and he's gonna do some crazy things. It's like, no, I don't need that. Just give me a fun party. Give me that Lord of the Rings kind of vibe. Like we're gonna go defeat evil together. That's all I need. Levi, after you get your PlayStation for Sony or for Spider-Man, Sony's Spider-Man, do you think you'll pick this game up perchance?
Yeah, that or either on the Switch.
Oh yeah, it's still coming to Switch. I forget if they're still doing like the double screen mode where it's like the regular version's up here, or it's on DS. That's what it was. They had like the regular version, then they had like the old school Game Boy version, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Would you rather play it on Switch?
I always like playing games on the go, but we'll see what comes first.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm really excited. That comes out on September 4th, which is like right around my birthday, and it's like 3 days before Spider-Man. So holy crap, that's a lot of beautiful games coming right at the same time. It's like, yeah. Anyway, Joe, I know I was kind of giving you a hard time earlier about it. Now that you've watched a little bit, you might not still know what it's about, but is there any redeeming qualities that you see in this game?
Well,
For you?
It's not my style, period. But, the closest thing I get to that is Overwatch. But Overwatch has all these qualities that I'm just like all about, right? I can appreciate the animation and the quality of it. That's just not my gig, But it's flashy. It's all those things. It looks like the quality is there. I can't tell from what I've seen on it exactly what you're just fighting a bunch of monsters, kind of Mario-esque, only
they're roaming around the world and they look fantastic. They look just gorgeous.
Yeah. So I mean, it's cool in that aspect. It's just not really my style of game. I'm more for, Overwatch, like I said, is the closest thing that blurs that line for me. Otherwise, I'm more into the realism and stuff like that. And maybe I'll expand more on it with my next choice.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's get to that next choice. But before we do, are you guys ready for another Pokedex entry?
Darn
Let's
right.
do it.
All right. Levi, you better not be looking at Pokedex entries over there.
I was trying to find a good one.
All right, guys, this is going to be a real easy one. Just get your guns ready to go. Very lazy, just eats and sleeps. As its rotund bulk builds, it becomes steadily more soft.
Snorlax.
I was going to say, very good. I'm pretty sure I heard Joe there first.
We're tied up. We need a tiebreaker.
We'll get to the tiebreaker. Trust me. But anyway, I think that's a good time to transition into our final round here of games. Joe, and you said you wanted to expand on what you were going to say before.
GTFO. Boom. GTFO.
Well, Joe, I don't like that kind of language on this show, all right? You know what, sir? I'm not going to get out of it. Oh, you mean the game.
The game. And it stands for Gamers to...
Welcome to the game.
I don't know. We need to come up with something that stands for. I don't think there actually is a long version of that.
I just liked the idea of it being something more along the lines of like everybody's name in the group their first or last name started with that letter. You know,
Sure.
like Gary, that is like Gary, Tom, Frank, and Oscar. They're like, we gotta get out of here. Or Gabrielle, you know, Teresa, Francine, and what's the last
Olivia.
name? Olivia, class. Olivia, we gotta get out of here. She's like, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I'm all for that. Yeah. So anyway, GTFO. This like, you can hear the GTFO monsters are right outside the door. I can hear them.
Jimmy, if it really were the monsters, they would have been broken through already.
No, it's a classic reinforced oak. They heard you and they don't like it.
Jimmy, by all means, let them in.
No, I don't want to let them in.
If you show them kindness, they may not eat you.
They told me that in Left 4 Dead, and it was a lie. Anyway, but speaking of Left 4 Dead, kind of that style of game, that dark, like horror.
Yeah. So 4-person co-op campaigny, and I guess just watch the trailer and then go watch anything from Area 51, the old PlayStation 2 game, and tell me it's not the same game, only upgraded with co-op.
I love so much that you like hold a torch for Area 51. You're like the one man in existence who's like,
dude, Area 51 was the best.
So it has that, or kind of like, you know, an Alien vibe as well.
Yeah. I mean, my assumption is that it's going to be real intense, suspenseful, a lot of darkness. I love the techiness of it, the monster designs, aesthetics, the fact that it's going to keep you on your toes and perhaps give you a little bit of a night terror after you put it down for the evening. That's everything. I'll pay $120 for it. Just tell me how much and I'll pay it. You know?
Yeah, I just wish, like, I think it's going to come to consoles eventually, but it's coming to PC first, and it's just like,
shame on them. Who the hell plays on computers?
A lot of people play on computers.
Shame on them.
Oh, well, okay. I mean, that's just...
You're gonna die soon, Jimmy.
I know. It's like the podcast reaper over there.
This podcast has been just riddled with like scariness.
This is great. If you're just listening to this, I hope that it's just like you feel like it's one of those old radio shows where it's like we're putting on like a drama or something, and I've got these cool noises and stuff. Like a Night at the Haunted House.
Remember the ice cream truck in the background?
Oh my god! I thought you were dead.
We were all like, "What?" And this is just when it just came out.
So midway through this podcast, I had a freaking jet dive bomb my house.
It's perfect, and now I got
literally got up and walked out the front door to the front drive, and I was like looking up. Everybody on my drive was outside.
It's the quality content you can expect your critical reviews. You never know what's going to happen because that's the biggest lesson we can teach you. Life is unpredictable.
It is. That was intense. But yeah, always fun stuff happening on the Critical Reviews podcast.
That's true. I do really want to get my hands on GTFO though. I saw this. They premiered this at the Game Awards, and I remember seeing this and thinking, holy crap, I'd love to play this with the boys. Like that. I'm like, it's like Left 4 Dead, but space kind of, or alien stuff.
Yeah. Like you get a little bit of the Division feel from it because you get kind of the same tech, like turrets that you set up, and you got to be able to take cover and stuff. I love the weaponry style, kind of hazmat suit deal. You're in there, almost very Doom-like. But I'd still say one of the best comparisons is Area 51. And then with the tech and weaponry abilities of like the Division. I think it's just cool. I like the kind of intimate feeling of it. You know, you're kind of in this, what is it, like a mass research lab type thing. Maybe it's like Doom where it's underground kind of a thing, isolated.
I think there are multiple different like locations you go to or maps, so it's not always going to be the same, that's pretty cool too.
Well, yeah, that's totally fine. I just, I think it's cool that, okay, like the trailer that they premiered, you're kind of in this room, you're trying to hack a door, all of a sudden the door behind you, an alarm goes off and you're trying to hack it, and it alerts the monsters, and they come busting through another door, and you and your guys just hunker down to take down a whole horde of them. I mean, and for that matter, it's a little bit like Gears of War, horde mode. Only it's progressive. You're moving on and on, but very cool, very cool. I love the style of it, the aesthetics. It looks like it's of high quality. It has to come to console, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Levi, for you, like, how do you feel about GTFO? Do you like the look of this? Is this something that you'd be interested in?
You like a
Just-
horror type game like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how horror are we talking, because Resident Evil was hard for me to play.
So this one's more like action horror. I would put it more
Okay.
in like it's
Like
even
Prey.
Resident
stuff like
Evil
that.
4. I think that one's much more actiony. This one's got horror elements, but I think it's more of like an action title. It's not like know we're gonna be all like running out of bullets constantly and like creeping around and but you never know. I don't
But
know.
I like the essence of some jump scares in there, you know, and
But-
that intensity. I don't know.
Prey is a good one, Levi. I think
I'm
Prey might
definitely
be.
interested for this game. I know that isn't this like the first for this developer? It's kind of
Yes,
new.
well, actually, they're calling themselves 10 Chambers, and they worked on the
Mhm.
Payday franchise before, which I've always tried to get people to play, but we never played it because I was like, oh, this game looks cool. But like, I really want to try it. So they've done this kind of stuff before, so it's not
Okay.
like the first time that they're getting into games. So
It looks really cool. It looks very like sci-fi, very like almost very Aliens versus Predator kind of look, with like the at least the whatever I saw from that video was like you could see the room and see stuff like that.
yeah,
I just like a game where the four of us, me, you, Levi, Drew, we're playing, and we just get done fighting off a mass horde, and it's like, all right, everybody press pause. I need a drink of water, wipe the sweat from my brow. Whew. You know, like that feeling to me in a video game is worth $30 right there. And if you get that a couple times, you've paid for the game. I just that to me speaks volumes. So I'm all in already.
And see, that gets me in the door, but what keeps me in the seat is like the progression. And they had like, skill trees and classes for Payday. So I'm hoping we get a return of that, because I always love saying like, all right, I'm doing this multiple times, but I'm getting like better and better things, or attacking harder and harder, areas, because now it's like, well, now we've got like a flamethrower or whatever now, and we can really do work with this. Or be like, all right, Joe's never hacking the door because he's not good at hacking. Like Levi specialized in hacking abilities. Joe is going to be sitting with like a Gatling gun and like a turret, and he's going to be like, I'll watch this way. Like that's what looks cool to me. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what those things really look like. Like they've shown them, but I'm like, what are they? Like, they just shoot them so fast. I'm like, what?
Oh, and there's melee weapons. Like you can get a big sledgehammer,
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's sick. Oh,
yeah, smash their face. So in a lot of ways, I think you're going to get a little bit of a Doom vibe too. But mark my words, after you listen to the podcast, listeners, go and look up gameplay from Area 51. Same thing, only co-op now and upgraded. I swear by it. Like that nostalgia there, it reminds me exactly of it. So in the same way, Area 51 was more so all about the campaign. That campaign was long. Like it took me a week, maybe 2 weeks off and on playing it for a couple hours each time to get to the end of that game. And it was very story driven. The storyline was intense and just like so many avenues to it that all came together and weaved together nicely in one major plot point. I just and the story kept going deeper and deeper. Like you'd learn things, and it dove deeper, and the cause of all this was something even bigger than you thought originally. And it's like, my mind.
I don't know if that's what this is going to be necessarily. I don't know if it's going to be that, but maybe. You never know.
I mean, it might be if it goes in a similar direction to that Area 51 game. It's a co-op 4-player. I hope that it's not like, oh, all right, guys, we beat it. In a couple of weekends, you sit down for a few hours with the guys and it's over. I hope it's like it's got a little more longevity to that, or they keep adding pieces to it, so it's got some more legs. So
as long as you gotta shake it up. Those games like Left 4 Dead always they had like a game director that was like this kind of invisible god who would kind of throw different things at you every time. So each time you played through a map, it was different. And I'm kind of hoping that's what they do here too. So it's like it's not always the horde comes through that door. It's like sometimes the horde comes over there, or the horde doesn't come at this section, but it comes 30 seconds later or 30 seconds before. So but it sounds like, well, Joe, you're all in. Levi, you're slightly interested potentially.
Take my money.
Which sounds good. We should have those devs on the show, Joe. That would be fun. But like Levi and I would probably play it before you do, Joe, because you don't have a good PC for it.
I'll come to Minnesota. I'll just hijack your computer.
Joe, you just knock through the door. Look,
Get out of my way!
I want to play this now.
Let me show you how it's done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Levi.
That scratching at the door is just future Joe waiting for this right moment.
That would be incredible. Put that in the podcast lore.
It wouldn't last long. I don't care how reinforced it is.
Joe's just like, I'll get through it. His bag person clause. Anyway,
cloth through it. I won't cut my nails until this fall.
Perfect. And it says it's still due out 2018. We'll see. We still don't have a release date for sure yet. So who knows? Levi, last game for you that you're really excited about playing in the latter half of 2018.
I'm really excited for Smash. It was so sad that the Wii U bombed because Smash was actually really fun. And now that I get to play it online, even better. Just so if I don't have buddies around at the time, I can play it online. But yeah, really like Smash.
So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the one you're talking about here.
Ultimate. All rosters, all characters, all maps.
All maps, all things. A few new characters here like Inkling and Ridley the Dragon from I was called Samus Metroid. Oh god. Clearly not a huge Metroid fan. What has you excited about it though? Like honestly, besides like the rosters, like it's a familiar thing.
I'm mostly excited just like to have it portable. I love like my Switch and I love being able to take it with me on the go, and the kids, they love Smash as well. They're really excited about it, and yeah.
So which character for you are you the most excited about? Because it sounds like they're revamping a lot of
the 8 iterations of Link that we're getting.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm so glad they're bringing back Pokemon Trainer. Pokemon Trainer is going to be great. I've always been a big fan of Mewtwo.
Me too.
We've got I'm really like Diddy Kong, not Diddy Kong. Baby Bowser. Baby Bowser's super fun. Running around in his little go-kart.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Now
new DDD looks really interesting.
What did they do to him?
His just the super is just so much different. It's got like rocket launchers instead of like his cooking. Like
I think it was smart. What was his cooking? I know the Kirby's was cooking.
Gosh, no, it wasn't the cooking. It was just what was it?
He had the one it like spawned a bunch of minions.
He had the big hammer and he like hit the big spike ball at you. I think that was it. Or was this an over B?
That was an over
I don't know.
Yeah, his ultimate, he just summoned a bunch of
it was
guys.
the dance.
Well, it
was like a dance, wasn't it?
He just summons a bunch of guys, like the spiky guys and like the Waddle Dees go out all over the place.
Yeah, he's dancing to it. Yeah. I think he's. Yeah, I think.
Well, they made it so that way the smashes are like really quick, which I thought was kind of cool. I was like, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Bringing back all the characters, that's pretty crazy. Like every character ever. I do want to, try Cloud, maybe even Bayonetta, but I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Joe, I know that like you haven't really gotten into Nintendo for a while, and there's a lot of characters in this game. Like, is there any character like for you out of anything ever that like if they put it in Smash, that you'd be like, I just kind of want to try him once, and then be like, all right,
no,
like not even like Master Chief or something. That'd be kind of fun.
No,
just like Reaper. How about Reaper? If we put Reaper in there, could we get you in with Reaper?
Nope.
Oh, jeez.
Xenomorph.
Yeah, freaking punching holes through skulls left and right. Good luck, everybody.
That's his over A. He's like,
yeah, like everybody try and kill me. Good luck with the blood.
Yeah, they're like, we can't do the blood thing in this game. It's too violent.
I was always a Metroid player coming up on the old Game Boy back in the day.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
It was always a cool character, cool little game.
How about Ridley? You like Ridley the Dragon?
I don't know. Maybe I never got that far. Was that in the Game Boy game?
And like in Samus, like in Metroid, he's like the main. He's like a purple space dragon.
Yeah, I don't think I ever made it to the end of the game.
You probably like him. He's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah. They just announced him. He's one of the new characters, and he actually in his little intro video he kills both Mario and Mega Man. He like skewers them with his tail and stuff. It's pretty. They show it like silhouetted, but you know what happened.
Perfect.
Joe's like, excellent. Can we go more into that? Can we explore the blood?
Did they slip on the blood?
Like, what does Bowser's blood look like?
There's a green.
Yeah, I see. The problem is that Smash Bros brings out the worst side of me, and I just hate it, especially playing with friends. Like it really brings out the anger within me, especially when you just have like a friend who isn't even trying with a character that you hate and they're beating you with it. You're just like you just hate yourself. Super Smash Brothers though, I'm excited about it only because like Levi, is in. I've loved Smash for a long time, and looking at it, I'm like, yeah, man, it'll be fun.
How does it work? Is it like you're on the big platform and you gotta just bounce people off the platform, or?
Yeah. Well, Levi, do you want me to take?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, basically, there are different levels that you can play on, but typically, regular Smash is like this, where you hit people and do moves and kind of special abilities, and you build up a percentage on them, and the more that percentage goes up, the further they fly, and then eventually, like, you'll hit them and they'll go flying off the stage, and then that will be like, if it's stock,
knockout.
it's a knockout. So like if they have 5, lives, then it'll go down to 4 lives. But if sometimes it's like just like a timed thing where it's like for 10 minutes, how many people can you knock out versus them knocking you out? And then you get +1s and then -1s if you lose like a life. So it's mostly like that. It's not like you're like snapping Mario's neck and you're like,
I win.
That's just 1 life, and then he just appears again out of the pipe and just
I
breaks
killed
your
you
neck.
once before. I can do it again.
Yeah, so it's obviously a little more family friendly, but it's a really fun game, and it's like such a fun party game because once you add items in there, it's harder to get angry because sometimes a friend will just pick up a Pokeball and it'll be like the best Pokemon, or sometimes they'll get like a bomb and throw it and you'll just die, or a barrel.
So picks up a Pokeball, best Pokemon in there. What happens there?
So it depends on which one. Like, so for instance, if it'll summon somebody, let's say like Entei, he's like a legendary beast. He's like this big fire dog kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in older games, like they each have their own area of effect. So like he would just shoot like a flame pillar straight up. So like if you were near him, he would like put you up in the flame pillar and you did take like tons and tons of damage. But if you have something like a Goldeen or Magikarp in the older games, would just come out and it'll just splash on the ground and do nothing. So like some Pokemon are completely work. So everyone's
Charizard pops out.
Well, Charizard is actually a playable character in the game by himself, so Charizard's just kicking ass on his own terms, which is pretty great because you just grab people. One of my favorite moves, Joe, you'd love this. His grab, they've got directional grabs. One of my favorite maybe video game moves. He grabs whoever it is. If you hit down with it, he'll throw them on the ground, put his foot on them, and just flamethrower them. Like he's like, like awesome. It's so good. I was like, that's brutal. His over B is Rock Smash though, where he manifests a rock somehow and then he breaks it with his head and that does damage to people. I was like,
and you can block projectiles with it too. Like,
what are you doing?
Okay, now hold on. So this game is, how do you do these moves? Is it like a combo thing? I gotta do XX left B?
No, so it's very simple. I've got my game controllers here, but a lot of it's just like a direction and then holding or tapping a button. So if you like hold over and tap A, you'll kind of do like a punch. But if you like hold and then hit A, it's like you charge up and that's a smash attack. So you do that and those would do more damage, but there's more like, if you whiff, there's more like, oh, I'm just kind of there for a second, or, it's a risk reward type of thing. But then other characters like Samus, for instance, in the past, if you would hit over B, like hold over and B, she'd shoot out a missile that would just go flying really fast. But if you just kind of do the directional with B just a little bit, she'd shoot off a little slow homing missile that'd be like, and it would kind of go for people. So there's like little like nuances like that.
All right. They need to add in a rated M for mature, but so what do I have to get, a Nintendo Switch to do this?
Just like you got me at the Charizard thing. It's like you hold people down, and also Snake's got guns and stuff. The Snake from Metal Gear's in the game. Cloud from Final Fantasy. I mean, Bayonetta's a pretty M-rated character, and she's in there. I don't know how. I mean, she's a Nintendo character now, but
she's awkward.
But yeah, it's just so much fun to play with friends because it's just like such a good party game.
So we can get together online and play it?
Yeah, with the Switches, which Nintendo it's free online right now, but eventually it's going to be $5 a month. I don't know exactly. I forget when that's happening, but
okay. How much is a Switch?
What are they going for nowadays, Levi? Was it still?
I think it's still like.
Was it 300, 250?
Yeah, let me see.
That's not too bad for a portable game system, right?
Well, the thing is, too,
there's
like
good portable games.
If you wait, Joe, like I'm gonna do, and wait for like a game to be bundled with it, then you can get it for like the price it is now with a game and then like a controller. Okay.
$2.99 and Smash.
It's like Wendy's, $2.99.
Yeah. Smash will be 60 or 50 or 60. I think 60. So.
But it'll be bundled with it. And when does that come out?
That comes out in, was it Levi? Was it November
Yeah.
or is it December?
December 4th?
Oh, yeah, it's December 4th. It's pretty late, so that one might be a later bundle. Anyway, it
sounds like a good time. I may be getting a Switch here, boys.
I said, this holiday season.
Really? Oh my God, we've done something amazing here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This holiday season is gonna be nuts for Switch bundles. It just really is.
I'm gonna get like a picture from your fiance, Joe, of you just playing Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. You're like, not really my thing, but just like late at night, you're just sitting in bed with it, and you're like, don't look at me.
I must catch them all.
I must catch every last one. Honey, here, use the controller. I need you to help me catch this. And she's like,
multiple times I'm gonna run them into extinction.
Joe is once again hunting them like buffalo. Anyway, Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, excellent. Last one here I want to bring up here, and Joe and I joked about it beforehand, but Just Cause, or as Joe likes to call it,
Just Cause.
Why wouldn't you play it? I was gonna, there's some other games we talked about too tonight that kind of like Red Dead Redemption 2 is, one that I'm excited about. But I want to talk about Just Cause 4 for just a little bit. I'm just excited. People know me. We talked about grapple hooks earlier. It's everything that the old games have done, but better. I think they rehauled like a lot of the physics and stuff like that from previous games. The only thing I need now is just that confirmation of co-op, because I swear to goodness, if I could play with at least one other person, this game would be a whole new level of crazy, and I really want that to happen. But different storms and stuff. There are 4 distinct biomes. There are blizzards, thunderstorms, tornadoes, and last thing that I
fire tornadoes.
Sandstorms, I think it was. And I hope there are fire tornadoes, Joe. I want there to be that, because I always thought that, like, if you blow something up in the tornado, it should be flaming.
Yeah, like a big propane tank or a tanker truck.
Yeah, and I've heard that it gets really nuts, like if you're, especially with the tornadoes, like if you're standing on a plane or a car, that like it starts to suck the enemy's encampments up, and it destroys their buildings. I don't know if it's going to be fully destructible environments or if they'll get rebuilt afterwards. But they have like storm deterring machines, so you have to blow those up, and then the tornado can come in and like destroy a base or something. I was like, okay, I guess I buy it. But that kind of stuff, and just I'm thinking about just standing on top of one of those like jets as it goes like spiraling into a tornado as explosions are going off. And I just hope that the game can be run on these consoles, because it's always been a problem. Like the old one, I just booted that back up recently, and when there's a lot of explosions going on, it really starts to chug a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really excited about it. I love the additions, the customization coming to the grapple hook. There's more abilities to grapple, more things you can do with that now. You can add explosives, jet boosters, or little balloons to things from a distance. The balloons
it's just insanity that you go in to mess around and do the craziest thing you can possibly do. That's why I've renamed it Just Cause.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the people making these games understand that, and that's why I'm so excited about the future of this franchise, especially announcing a 4. Not that 5 and 6 have to happen, but now I'm just going to be thinking, what's the 6th game going to be? Like, what insanity are they going to be like, well, we kind of have already done storms, so we have to do storms, but we're going to be like, mega storms, like eventually it's just going to be, like, it will be only flaming tornadoes. Like, there won't be regular tornadoes, it'll be flaming tornadoes. So I just want them to talk to the people who made the old Red Faction like guerrilla game where it's fully destructible environments, and then I will be completely happy. But Just Cause 4, I'm stoked for it. I'm stoked. Anyway, we're moving on, boys, because we've been going we've gone very long so far. Anyway, it's time to move into that segment of the show that I like to call, that Levi likes to call, that Joe likes to call. Hit me with it, either of you. I don't care.
Time Killers.
That's right. It's time for Time Killers. Levi, what have you been killing time with, buddy? Oh, by the way, sorry, that's the movies, the games, TV shows we've all been consuming recently. If you're like, what the heck is Time Killers?
I just saw Jurassic World again last night.
How dare you? I'm just kidding.
We kind of ripped this movie apart last week, and I stand by what I said. But taking another glance at it, it's better than the first Jurassic World. A lot of character development from the first one. Not a lot. I mean, it's a better direction. As good as the characters in a dinosaur movie can be. Dinosaurs are stunning. They're great. I love it's weird that they put a kind of a personality with some of these dinosaurs, like the one that's like headbutting the wall and other stuff like that. But I mean, it's not as terrible, I guess. But watch that. Playing some Switch, Pokemon Quest, playing some Pokemon Go. playing a little bit Divinity every other week with you. And yeah, that's about it for right now.
Cool. Joe, how about you, man? What have you been killing time with?
For Honor and For Honor only.
It's just so nuts to me that you're still playing that so much.
So funny.
Joe's gonna be the best For Honor player on the planet. He's gonna be like,
No, Drew still has me beat, but
Joe's going to be the only For Honor player.
yeah. Like Drew will take on like a team of 3 for a second. Like he'll be the last one in an elimination round.
Drew's nuts.
He'll take down the 2 and almost have the 3rd, but he just doesn't quite have enough health and he gets taken out. But
the best berserker.
Yeah, the best berserker there is. He is really good. I'm getting there. I've recently started to diversify. I've gone from Centurion, my main, and Raider, my other main, to now Kensei. So I've got 3 to rotate between, and Kensei is a lot of fun. The customization, dude, it's addicting, and it's a good feeling when you win, you know, or when you just kill somebody. It's great. And executions are just that cherry on top of the sundae.
Yeah, it's a great game. All right, boys. It's confession time. I got some things I want to talk about here in Time Killers that you probably wouldn't think I'd be playing.
Oh, no.
First off, hopped back into Pokemon Heart Gold.
Woo!
Here's the problem. Got about an hour and 40 minutes in. Apparently found out, fun little fact on the Game Boy, on the DS or the 3DS, that if you don't manually delete the first save or the one that's on there, no matter what you do, you can't save that progress. I did figure out, though, that if I wanted to become a speedrunner, I could shave off about 20 minutes of that initial first hour and 40 minutes on a replay through. But my team is coming together nicely. And I caught a Scyther the other day in the bug catching tournament, which is on Tuesdays, I think Thursdays and Saturdays. Yeah. And I have a minute left. I was like, yes! And they still
love the events.
I love that. And then that game is still one of the best sequels.
How do you shave an hour and 40 minutes? What do you do?
Turn up I didn't shave an hour and 40 minutes. I just went down to like an hour and 22 minutes. You know, I turned on like the text speed and I didn't waste as much time. But...
Oh, you were like, turn up the bass.
I'm like, I also, Levi, I've been playing a bit of Pokemon Quest, and I think I've caught up to you, or maybe even surpassed you.
On your phone?
Yeah, I haven't played.
Oh gosh, and you have an older phone too, so that must run like crap.
No, it runs really well. Pokemon Quest is addicting. Yeah, it's very easygoing. But I told you. Yeah, it's fun. It's really stupid, but. And the last thing I want to talk about.
It's really stupid.
It's stupid, but it's fun. A show that I got into on Hulu, and it's something that I think Joe and I watched the first episode of a while ago, which kind of plays into our love for the Bachelor, Bachelorette, and Bachelor in Paradise, is the show called Unreal, starring the main young woman from Roswell, Appleby, Shirley. Anyway, and they run. It's a show, a drama. A fictional drama about what it's like behind the scenes on a show like The Bachelorette or The Bachelor.
Oh, no way.
It is like really, like, it doesn't make me feel good. And I know they do overdo it sometimes. They've had like some stuff on the show that's like, yeah, I don't really believe that, but it's pretty mature. I think that's one way to put it. But yeah, it's there's some pretty dark stuff in there where it's just like these people they're basically trying to manipulate, and that's their jobs, and they just kind of clink glasses every time something really bad happens to these poor young women, and getting them to fight each other. I'm trying to think of like what's a really good one, but getting like, you know, presumably nice women to like really start to hate each other, to fight over like a person. And this show is weird, Joe. They do it like, it's way better if you've ever watched one of these shows, because the Bachelor and Bachelorette are very formulaic in their execution, but the fake show they have on here called Everlasting is like, they'll hand out diamond like bracelets one night, or diamond necklaces another night, instead of roses. But then like one night there's like 4 candles, and then they're like, extinguish the flame of the person, you want to go home. And I was like, think if they did that on The Bachelor, if he's just like, you know, it's like, go home.
I can dig it.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different, and it's just interesting, and like, you know, it's not probably super accurate, but there's a lot of it where I'm like, yeah, that's probably how it goes behind the scenes. It's not all like lovey-dovey and wonderful. And kind of picking out, of these women to start off, they've got like your wifeys who are the ones who are going to make it to the end. You got your sluts, unfortunately, and then you've got the ones who are going to like, I would say sluts get cut, which is like really sad, but they're women doing this. Like there are women showrunners who are saying this. So I'm just repeating it. I'm not saying that's what I think, but they basically have 2 or 3 producers on the show who have like a few of the girls that they are responsible for, and they get bonuses they're like, all right, I'll give you $5,000 extra if you can get her to fight with her tonight. And they're like, all right. And then they like go and do it. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if that's really how it goes, but like I could see it. Like I could for sure see that, to get like these cameramen and these other producers to be like, yep, get him in a fight. Let's go.
Look, hey, Megan Candace over there said she was going to suffocate you with a pillow in your sleep tonight.
Yeah, and they just like and it's nice because like you're kind of watching, it's like Breaking Bad where you're watching the villains and you kind of root for them sometimes, but other times you're like, good, you deserve like sadness because you're a bad person. So Unreal, it's got 3 seasons and it's on Lifetime. So yeah,
is it really on Lifetime?
It's pretty, there's some pretty dark stuff on there. I was like, wow, cable's really they could say a lot of stuff on there now, like a lot of bad stuff. I was like, oh my god. All right. Yeah, so give it a watch if you've ever been interested in that, or if you like fictional weird dramas. Again, you're not going to feel good after watching this show, but it's interesting. Holds my attention.
First Smash Brothers, now a new TV show. Jimmy's got me.
Also, the other show I've been watching to kind of bounce it out, I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is it's like The Office, like Parks and Recreation, but in a police station, which just recently got canceled by Fox, but then saved by I think NBC, which that's where it belongs anyway. The show
Andy
is
Samberg though.
Yeah, the show is fine.
Great.
It's
RRA, Josh Smith.
I know he looks so much like it's fine. I'm not laughing out loud a ton. I haven't laughed out loud as much as like The Office per se in like the earlier seasons. Maybe it'll get funnier. And I think the show is totally fine for like that's the show I have in the background when I was playing like the Pokemon games. Like I was like, like I look up and like, that's pretty funny. But it's a lot of the characters who are kind of fill that archetype, that role, and that's just like they go with it.
Now hold on, what is Pokemon Quest to Pokemon Go?
Oh, good question. So Pokemon Go, that's the one where you like walk around and like catch Pokemon out in like the real world. Pokemon Quest is like a top-down game where you have like 3 little Pokemon that are like running around a map, and they're completely working autonomously from you, and they're just going to hunt down and beat up other Pokemon. And you have little special abilities that your Pokemon have that you can proc at certain times to have them do their super moves, and they have little cooldown timers. So you're kind of helping them out. You're like, you should do this, but they kind of run and do their own thing for the most part. So yeah, just kind of like a fun little time killer.
Oh, boxy, pixely looking.
Yes. It's very like Minecrafty looking, but you don't have to build anything. So that's what I've been killing time with. A lot of things, as you guys probably can tell. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into my favorite segments of the show: community feedback and questions. Community feedback questions. And this is the question I asked our lovely Legionnaires. Ask them, we want to know what game you're most excited about and why. This is great. We got some good ones here. Missile Mage writes, and he says, I'm probably most excited for the Spyro remaster, being able to see people who never experienced the Spyro games play them for the first time. Which brought a lot of warmth to my heart, because I get really down on remasters, because I'm like, why are you just making the same game but prettier? But some people never played Spyro, and you know what? Good on them. I love that.
They gotta get something too, right? They gotta eat.
Yeah, they gotta they gotta eat. Yeah, those people making the game. Lil Red Rider, or Weird Girl, Anna, she says, Skull and Bones, State of Decay, Pray for the Gods. Ooh, that's a good one. Darksiders 3, Last of Us 2, and then a bunch of games labeled to be announced. Don't know. They look cool. Yeah, don't know. They look cool. I'm always she's big on plot stuff or characters or big world, all caps. That's a great one. And then maybe my absolute favorite one. This one comes in from our good friend Beaten Down Brian. He says, these are unreasonable terms. Fine, I'll play your game. It's Mega Red Battle Spyro OctoQuest 11. And then I said, and why? And he said, damn it, Jimmy, isn't it obvious? It's the complete package. Brian, you're right. You're definitely right. Just smash all those games together. Just making me crazy. I love it. First question here. And this one came in last week, and I didn't get a chance to ask it, but I really, really love this one. Fragging. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Can you recall your fondest memory at a movie theater when you were a child? Maybe the first time being at a theater or seeing a movie featuring your childhood hero. Can you tell us in a short story about the experience?
We already have one.
Levi, well, you already have one. How about you go first?
Well, ours is together. I think one of the best memories was you and I seeing Attack of the Clones for the very first time ever with your family, and no one in the theater could understand why two 11-year-old boys were freaking the fuck out that Yoda was going ham on Count Dooku.
I've never like laughed in both like shock and awe, but also just like pure enjoyment because he's Yoda just like and he just jumps and it's oh man, yeah, Levi,
We could not handle ourselves. No,
that was a great moment. Joe, how about you, man? You got any fond memories of going to the movies as a kid?
Yeah, every December going with my dad and my sister to see the Lord of the Rings installments.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yep. That was like a yearly pilgrimage for us, and we were always in Cincinnati to visit family for the holidays, and we always went Christmas Day after we had our little morning breakfast with everybody. It was straight to the movie theater to see Lord of the Rings. House was packed down in Cincy. They had this giant movie theater, like an auditorium that to this day, I don't think I've seen a movie theater auditorium as big as this one, but it was just always a blast. You know, you get that big drink and you're immersed in that for over 2 hours and you're just like, yep. I will remember that as long as I live. It was how many installments were there? Three, yeah. Was one a two-parter?
No.
It's technically a three-parter.
Okay.
Did you feel that way more so after you saw the first one?
What do you mean?
Like that feeling of like being excited to go see? Because like the first time.
Yeah. The Two Towers are coming out this year. We got to go on Christmas Day, guys. We got to go. And we went. And yeah, man, it was sad when it ended. I wanted to do it again and again. It was just a good memory every Christmas. It was kind of like that cherry on top of the sundae, you know, another gift for Christmas kind of a thing.
Tell me you can hear that.
Yep.
Oh, thank God. Yes, Joe, thank you. That completely reminds me of a moment. You know, Levi, that was obviously a great moment watching Attack of the Clones. But this is another one that's like right up there with me. Is I was sitting with my mom in the theater for Fellowship of the Ring. Now, in the beginning of that film, you do see orcs and stuff like that. But when you get to the Mines of Moria, and you get to Balin's tomb, and they're like, oh, you know, there's like the orcs are coming, or like the goblins or whatever, and they're like, they have a cave troll. And I'm sitting there with my mom. My mom was a Lord of the Rings fangirl in like the 60s. She had Middle Earth up on her college dorm room wall, and people would ask her where in the world was that, like literally in the world. She's like, you don't know. And there she is sitting with her kid watching this movie, and I'm like, Mom, like what's coming? And she's like, it's all right. Just watch. And when they burst into the room, Aragorn gets like the one shot with his bow and arrow that he's like only done once, and he gets, or like maybe two, he shoots one of those guys right like here in the face. And I remember being like, oh my God, I'm in. Like I was like right there. I was like, whoa, yes, like that moment, like God, like that's why you go see movies like that. The Yoda moment, like that stuff, like that, just like brings you back. That's what keeps me going to movie theaters, man. Oh, a good question.
I have not found a movie series yet that has captured the magic of Lord of the Rings, and I don't think I ever will. I just think that they're perfect and they're masterpieces, honestly.
I have a hard time disagreeing with you there, man. Other quick question I want to ask you boys. This comes in from Missile Mage. This is from our Discord, which has been really great to us. Do you guys have a favorite movie speech? Which I'm gonna just quickly, spin off Lord of the Rings. Aragorn's speech right before they go to fight, that last fight at the Black Gate. There may it come a day when the will of men comes crashing down. Like that whole is like,
that is not this day.
It's this day we fight. Like you're just like, yeah, baby. Like let's go. Like I will die.
Leave out of your chair in the theater, knock over his popcorn.
It just like, and then it's followed up by one of my favorite lines in any film ever, because you're like, for this time he hasn't seen Sam and Frodo for so long, and then he looks back when the gates open up, and he just says, "But Frodo," and then he just takes off, and you're like, what's happening? Like you're just like, it's so good. Joe, do you have like a favorite movie speech? You know, like Independence Day, obviously that's a good one.
Independence Day.
It's a good speech. I just listened to it today. It's like 1:40, but it's good. It's a good speech. If you don't have one, like Levi, if you got one, I don't know if you can think of one. If it's Aragorn, I hate to steal it from you. But
I don't know. I mean, it's a very small speech, but there's like a very small speech that McGonagall does in the last Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, when she's about to fight.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I always loved like seeing those, you know, older witches get bad.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does some pretty cool stuff. She doesn't do as half the cool stuff though. She does like in the book. It's like, oh,
yeah,
I wish you could see more of that.
Oh, and then when the Weasley's mom just like kills Bella, like
Yeah,
Bellatrix, like, oh my gosh. I'm like, did she just say bitch?
Yeah.
I'm too young to hear this. Actually, I think I was like 18, but
Joe,
I've got nothing.
no speeches, huh?
Mm-mm. The Lord of the Rings one is good.
I feel like there's like a dialogue like in Jurassic Park you could take out where just like Jeff Goldblum's just going on and on about like, oh, you didn't even think if you could, but if you should, you know, like it's like you're right. Ethical debate. It's too late for that. Yeah, that was man. It's some great questions. But anyway, we've been going on for a long time. But if you guys ever have a question for us, all you have to do is tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast. You can tweet to any of us. You can tweet at the Critical Reviews Twitter account, which I typically run, which is @GoCritical with a capital G and a capital C. Or you can tweet at me personally. I'm JimmyGood013. If you'd like to tweet at Levi, though, you can tweet at
Levi Fletcher.
Very
One
good.
word.
And if you want to tweet something at Joe, just a question or just some feedback, where would they tweet at you, Joe?
Lever_627. That's Lever, just like Beaver, only with an L.
Very, very good. Now, Levi is going to get off. He's going to go stream for a Bitsky here potentially, but we are streaming. We're streaming at twitch.tv/Critical Reviews. Going to help us out. Hang out over there. That's one way to support us. Just spend some time with us. We're always playing some fun games. Like Levi's going to go play. We were talking about Pokemon Quest. He's going to maybe go play that, you know, and eventually probably Smash Brothers when we get the chance. And Red Dead. Oh God, and Spider-Man and Dragon Quest. Anyway, I gotta stop thinking about all these beautiful games that are coming. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank This Is Dale for our intro, outro, our theme music, and I thank the one, the only, the horribly talented Mr. Joran Evers, the guy who does pretty much all the art you see here on the channel. Now, Joran's working on a very special project right now, and he wants me to give you a little synopsis of what that's going to be. When David opens a mysterious box that transforms his arm into an alien weapon, he at first uses it for good to right the wrongs of his high school. But as more of his body is transformed, he finds that playing God comes with its own set of new, self-destructive perils. He says, at its core, it's like Venom meets Chronicle. He's working on a comic right now. If you want to see updates on that, you can check him out at Nuraj28 or at Jade Circle Art on Twitter, or go check out his Instagram. I highly recommend you do it regardless because he's always putting up cool stuff. But if you want to support Joran and you want to support us at the same time, because we are primarily funded through this one place, patreon.com/Critical Reviews. If you go over there, you can throw us a buck. That really does help, and you get some cool Joran Evers avatar art with your face on it. Yes, avatar as yourself, not necessarily the movie, because I'm not a fan of that movie. We're not going to draw you as a Na'vi, but some other cool rewards, and you can see how you can support us and keep the lights on, keep us getting games and going to see movies and, you know, putting food in our bellies from time to time. Because one day, that's just Joe and Levi are going to work for me. Joe's like, no, I'm not. He's like, no, unless we
What
take
are
up
the benefits.
They're great. You're hanging out with your buddies.
Joe has disconnected from the conversation.
Joe's gone. He's gone. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being on. It's so much fun to have both of you here. Thank you, Levi.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Joe.
The pleasure's all mine, Jimmy.
One of these days, we gotta shoot one of these in like a room, so I don't have to like shoot to the camera away from you. Anyway, thank you everybody for stopping by for like the 120th time, or just the very first time. We love having you. You're the reason we do this. Please hit us up anytime. Just tweet at us. Just let us know what you like and what you don't like and what you want to see in the future. Either way, thank you so much for stopping by. Love and hugs to all of you, and just remember to adapt and overcome. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.